I think it's important to touch on some of our foundational kaupapa, in particular ko te pukaki. Started in late 2001 by Ngārimu Blair and Charmaine Bailey. And the whole kaupapa was to restore and revive the natural flora and fauna of our natural environment here on Takaparawhau. And so it's coming up to 21 years for that kaupapa. It's a chemical-free kaupapa, organic kaupapa, run by the whānau here at Orake. And so with that comes propagation, seed sourcing of native seeds distinct here to tāmaki, and propagating those on site, growing them, planting them into the land and restoring the Māori back into the land. And then we have landscaping as well, so working in and around the CBD and in other areas to take our kaupapa here that we're doing on Orake and how we can expand that out and share some of those learnings and some of that mātauranga with everybody. We also have a policy unit that is looking at the reforms, the Three Waters reform and the RMA reform in particular. Culture and heritage is really big for us, so understanding and acknowledging those significant sites for us and that we're important for our tupuna, to making sure that they're protected and enhanced in any way that we can. As well as that, we have another team that works in the projects and influence space, so working alongside Crown and Council and the other iwi external groups on projects that will have better outcomes for the natural environment and for Tāmaki Makaurau. And then we have our cultural response unit who partner with developments and other projects and working in with archaeologists, providing cultural and spiritual support on site, cultural inductions to make sure everyone knows where they are and understand the value that we have in these areas. And if there are any accidental discoveries, that we provide support in that regard as well.
An important year for us in Aotearoa was Matariki's first public holiday, and you made an open invitation to your Matariki celebrations here. Tell me what that was like.
Yeah, so I think we had maybe over 2,000 people attend here on Takaparawhau as we stood up on the point close to our koro Joe Hawke, where he's buried now, which was actually quite fitting, and watched the dawn of the new year. With those celebrations came the revival of some of the traditional practices that go along with Matariki. So you have different stars that are aligned to different elements of the natural environment. And so there were offerings and acknowledgements of food and kai that were cooked traditionally and offered up to ngā tua that morning. There were fires, there were songs, there were stories shared, and after that we had a big hangi, which is always good as well. There is a growing awareness around some of the challenges that we are facing with climate change and commitment to do better on the projects that we're seeing throughout Tāmaki. And through that, we are able to partner better on some of these projects. We definitely believe that there's a growing need for Indigenous knowledge, mātauranga, kōrero tukuiho and whakapapa, that should be guiding some of the issues and challenges that we're seeing in the modern world, yeah. And
there's two projects you particularly like to show us now as examples of this.
Yes, I'd like to take you up to Paurewa and give you a bit of a look at the Eco Hub that we're calling the Eco Hub. It's really a showcase and an educational piece, and also into the CBD where we've been able to extend our kaupapa further in some of the projects down in the downtown as well.
Can you tell us about the concept of the garden and what's going on here now, and then what the plans are for developing it?
Yeah, so we're down here at our Matariki. So this is supporting our aspirations around food sovereignty and getting our people interested and back reconnected with the whenua through gardening. And it is really based around some of that Indigenous knowledge around the star compass, around maramataka, around seasons, and around the traditional gardening methods of Māori. And so here we harvest, we experiment with different gardening methods, and every Thursday we have a harvest where whānau and community can come and bring their bags and take what they need for their whānau. Yeah. There's also aspirations on setting up little campsites for schools. So this is really a really big educational piece. We really want to promote community, schools and other groups to come in and share, come in and muck in and learn from some of the knowledge and experiences that we have here. And so that might take them back with them as well. This is Te Wānanga, and it's really in the name. Given during the planning of this project through the Mana Whenua Forum with the wider council families, that was the idea, is really around a learning space, and again bringing some of the facets that you see here to the forefront, and all the way down to the mussels. I mean, a very innovative idea, very forward-thinking idea in an effort to look at water treatment, water quality, and how we might remedy some of the issues that we're seeing within the Waitemata.
Dream for me the big picture of what nature and the city look like in 10 or 15 years from now. Where do we take these ideas?
I think we just pump them up and get bigger, push further. I mean, this is maybe the half step or the first step towards that greater vision, and from the learnings from these projects with the interaction and engagement with the external firms and the council, there's a lot of goodwill, but I think we just need to dream bigger and actually commit to what that looks like, just so we're not at the forefront anymore. We need to take ourselves out of the forefront and put the natural environment there, and how the interdependence focuses on that cycle of living. So what does the green infrastructure look like? Green roofs, green walls, all of that kind of stuff, the livening up the green passages. Not everything doesn't have to be concrete, everything doesn't have to be glass, but what does that look like? And I only think we can dictate that. So in terms of that engagement, that's really, really important. There's got to be that engagement, that partnership that was set out and is guided by Te Tiriti. That needs to be envisioned, and that foundation needs to be strong for us to build that modern, green, innovative city on top of it.